Argo is based on the true story, declassified by President Clinton in 1997, of the covert operation to exfiltrate 6 U.S. embassy workers from Iran right after the revolution. Ben laid out his sound philosophy for us on the mix stage. John Reitz and Greg Rudloff were the re-recording mixers, and Ben gave us kind of a pep speech as to what his philosophy was with sound. And for him, it needed to be real, it needed to be raw and gritty. And so sound-wise, we wanted to create a realistic atmosphere that wasn't too Hollywood and polished, but had those unexpected flavors of the period that really made it feel real. For us, we knew the most important thing would be accuracy and realism with this movie. This is a true historic event, and the license to go off in whatever direction you want isn't quite there in the same way, and particularly in dealing with language. Farsi is the language in Iran, and a lot of what we realized early on, right after reading the script, was that there would be elaborate scenes with Persian protesters chanting real chants that were happening at that time during the revolution, and we needed to get that right. So what we wound up doing was we had about 100 extras doing all of these chants that were the actual chants happening during the revolution, and we would put microphones behind windows, on rooftops, inside cars, right in the middle of the crowd, to get all of those perspectives that you can fake in post, but there's nothing like the real thing, nothing like really being behind a window hearing it. And so the very opening of the movie, when the embassy gets stormed, that's what it's all about. It's the voice of these people, and there's nothing like the real deal when you experience that. Tehran is an incredibly congested city, and known for really awful traffic jams. There is a kind of constant din of car horns filling the city. There's far more mopeds and motorcycles than we typically have out here in the West. So that was part of the challenge creating the sound for the movie, is not just when we're in the streets, but when we're inside, feeling a sense of the city and the life of Tehran at that time was really important. We were looking for different flavors to give a sense of the foreignness of Tehran, and one thing we started thinking about was, well, what did the sirens sound like back then? What were these distant city sounds that we could pepper through the film? And actually, in going through a lot of the documentary footage that we found from that time, we heard some sirens, and they're not like the US style sirens, they're the European two-tone style sirens. So to be able to record that, we actually built our own little siren rig that had 2 sizes of two-tone air compressor horns for police and for ambulance. And we mounted that onto a car, and PK Hooker, the effects editor on the show, piloted that car all around the Warner Brothers back lot so we could get not just close-up stuff, but ambient, distant, city kind of feel to those sirens. And you'll hear them peppered details throughout the film. I would say across the board, this crew was just incredible, and it was such a pleasure working with everybody, from Richard Ford, the music editor, to the re-recording mixers, John Reitz and Greg Rudloff, to Ben himself. It really felt like a steady ship where everybody was very calm, confident, very proud of the movie, trying to make it as good as it could possibly be, and then kind of being shocked and bewildered at the end that, wow, that was the smoothest ride to such an amazing movie that we could have possibly experienced.